Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, there got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, there got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, there got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, there got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, there got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, there got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, there got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, there got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, there got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my OG, got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my OG, got me locked in on cup though.
Everybody, welcome back to PSGL. George Morgan here and Jack Burnett. All the lights are currently lit here on track, and it is go, go, go!
Contact through the Mercedes teammate.
Denoso with a crafty manoeuvre up the inside. Masterclass from the Chilean.
Crucial championship points on offer here.
Do not count out Danny Berezne.
Longe has done the job. This is for the win between these two.
Freddie Rasmussen wins the United States Grand Prix.
Alfie Butcher wins for the first time ever. Lucas Blakely takes the championship. It's Barry Foreman.
Jarno Opmeer is your champion.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to PSGL here for round number 6 of the F4 Championship here on the PlayStation tiers. My name is, of course, Michael Edwards, going to be taking you through the action, and joining alongside me in the commentary box once again is the one, is the only Mr. Danny Quinn. Quinn, how you doing, my friend?
I'm feeling really good, of course. We're here at Suzuka for this round, and it's quite a historic track for us in our commentating. Well, time together has provided some really good races for us in the past. So hopefully we get another one tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, this goes down as one of my favourite, if not my actual favourite circuit on the F1 games. So it is definitely going to be one to keep an eye on, that is for sure. And as you mentioned, you know, we have commentated on some absolutely incredible Japanese Grand Prix in the past. But let's go ahead and let's have a little look at the circuit at the Suzuka circuit. It is 5.8 kilometers, 3.6 miles in length, 18 corners, 1 DRS zone down the start finish straight, and quite a lot of infamous corners around here where it can be very tricky. Of course, getting the turn-in spot on for turn 1 as you approach down into the hard braking for turn 2 can be a little bit tricky to get right. And of course, through the S's, all about momentum for the S's as you come up the hill towards Dunlop curve, and literally the back end can step out on you at any point through Dunlop. Then of course you got the Degner curve into the hard braking and possible overtaking opportunity at the hairpin at turn 11. Spoon curve also going to provide a very interesting sequence of corners, because getting a good launch out of Spoon will really help you on the run down towards 130R if you tuck into the slipstream, and then maybe you can have a little go into the 16 and 17 chicane known as the Casio Triangle. But Quinn, incredible circuit that we're at right now. As you mentioned, very historic. We've commentated over some incredible races here in the past, but good chance of rain around Suzuka. Do you think we're going to see any changeable conditions here tonight?
Yeah, could definitely see very questionable conditions here, and well, it's known in real life for having changeable conditions, so could very well be mixed conditions race here. But for the drivers here, you definitely favouring it to be a dry, qualifying and race, because it can be very difficult to navigate the circuit when it's wets or even inters.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, before we head out in towards a qualifying, race results from last week's race in Hungary, and it was, of course, Soapbox who took victory with an incredible strategy around the Hungaroring. He managed to, go a little bit alternative to the rest of the grid, and it worked out because at the end he was on the better tyre and he was able to carve through the field. Sem looked like he had it all wrapped up, but towards the end, Soapbox pace on the fresher, softer tyres really came in clutch for him. Federico with a good performance there, completing that podium. Boyolulu coming home in P4, and then of course Santero in P5. Lorenzino did cross the line in P6, but with a 3-second time penalty, he drops to P7, promoting Ismail to P6, and of course Mankley in P8. Sam in P9, and of course Alpha Kevin rounding out the final position inside the top 10. Now, what that has done in terms of the Drivers' Championship, it means that Soapbox leads the way by 17 points here, Quinn. He's got a 17-point lead over the rest of the field. He's coming on 49 points. The nearest ones to him are Reese and Ismail, both tied on points, 32 points apiece, but Reese ahead with obviously that race win in Silverstone. I immediately just looking at the gap that Soapbox has got, it is very commanding at the top for him at this moment in time. Quinn?
No, sorry, I was muted.
You're good. But yeah, as I was saying, Soapbox commanding lead at the top of the championship. I mean, what do you think we're going to be seeing for the rest of the season from Soapbox? Because we are now round 6 of 12. Like, we are at the halfway stage at the end of this race. It's an incredible lead to have at this stage in the championship.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's going to be hard for the others to, catch up to him. As for what I'm expecting for him, last race he went completely against everyone else's strategy and showing how well the alternate strategy can do in a race. So for him, for the rest of the season, I'm expecting him to just pull all the tricks out of the bag in terms of strategy now.
Yeah, and we will have to wait and see if those strategies will pay off for Soapbox. As I mentioned earlier, Reese and Ismail tied on points, 32 points apiece in second and third. Mankley in fourth on 28 points, with Boyolulu in fifth on 27. 25 points for Joris Legs Food, and then of course 21 points for Sergio in 7th place. Federico in 8th on 19 points, 1 point ahead of Lorenzino in 9th. And Santero in 10th, as well as Sem in 11th, all three on 18 points apiece. Then we got Alpha Kevin on 17 points in 12th place. Then we got ASRT Kevin on 11 points in 13th. 6 points for Tio, 5 points for both Alex Gamer and Solax. Dennis, who got pole position last time out in Hungary, he is currently in 17th place on 4 points. 3 points for Sam, 2 points for Gravroach, and Sam Van Morazin on one singular point in 20th place. Yet to get a point on the board is Niels Mentos, Luno, and Bet Ski. And with the drivers right now out there on their outlaps, I think there's no better way to go ahead and jump on over to the track, as we have Lorenzino about to get underway here around a lap of Suzuka. So I'm going to go on board with him, and we're going to see exactly what he's going to be able to do as he comes through the Casio Triangle to get his lap underway. DRS wide open as we run down the Southland Straight in towards the right-hander for turn number 1. Very important to get your line right for you because it really sets you up for turn number 2. Now, coming through the S's, all about momentum, all about picking your line to be absolutely spot on. You can gain a lot of time here, you can lose a lot of time here, and Lorenzino knows that full well. Coming up for the left-hander now of Dunlop Curve as we climb over the crest and begin the approach towards the first Indegna curve. 31.6 in the first sector, breaking down as we go underneath the bridge, of course around the only figure of 8 circuit on the F1 calendar. Into the hairpin now, hard braking zone, third gear, the gear of choice here for Lorenzino. All about traction on the exit here, and the traction is good for Lorenzino as we run down now towards Spoon Curve. Again, a very tricky corner where you need to get your line right on the entry because you can drift out wide, not only in the middle part of Spoon but also on the exit, and Lorenzino does very well there to keep it all within track limits. As we fly down now towards 130R, is going to be a 110.8 in the middle sector as Lorenzino comes through 130R flat out and breaking down hard into the Casio triangle as he looks to get the perfect launch out of the final corner down towards the line, keeping it nice and tight, and it's going to be a 27.4 to get us underway here, Quinn.
Yeah, it's a very solid banker lap there from Lorenzino, and just seeing all the other drivers, I believe that's Niels who's just gone into the pit, so he may have invalidated his lap. Gonna see who's coming up next, as I believe...
I think it's Joris. Oh, Joris is one of the drivers coming up, but he's around about 6 times off Lorenzino right now in the middle sector.
Yeah, Kevin finished up 5 tenths off Lorenzino, and Sam and Manlike are the only 2 people getting kind of close. To say that Reese puts over a tenth on Lorenzino, so now 127.352 is the time to beat now for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely, as Alpha Kevin goes up there into P5, a good lap there from him, but Reese, a driver that has shown over the course of the season that he has the pace to be up there at the front. He's had a few mistakes here and there, especially in terms of picking up the occasional 3-second time penalty, so you'll need to keep that in check here tonight if he wants to make sure that he's on the top step of that podium. But right now, he's on provisional pole position as we have 13 minutes remaining in the session.
Yeah, and I was just looking... Well, I was watching over Ismail as he was crossing the line to complete his lap, and he had a big slide coming into the final corner, so potentially lost a lot of time with that and could have potentially seen him provisionally on the front row.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what Ismail is going to be able to do. As you mentioned, that small mistake definitely would have cost him a decent amount of time. It's all going to be about if he can string it all together in the remaining minutes of this session. Around about 12 minutes ago in the session, we got Niels and Dennis both out there right now on outlaps. I believe Niels is the man who is going to be furthest along, coming through Spoon right now. And this guy right here, I mean, he's yet to get a point on the board in terms of the championship thus far, but I mean, we know Niels has got a pace about him. He can definitely put his name in the hat at the top end. It's all going to be about if it strings together for him.
Yeah, he's shown in the past that he can be a very capable driver of winning races, so maybe he's just having trouble adapting to the new handling, or just maybe it's just a little bit of inconsistency when racing.
Yeah, and there's always you sometimes have these seasons where just everything just doesn't seem to click now for you, and maybe Niels is having one of those seasons where it's just not clicking for him at the moment, but maybe in seasons to come that will be where it will click for him. But at the moment, yet to get a point on the board. There is support for him in the chat saying he's about to win the championship. I mean, he's got a lot of work to do if he wants to put his name in the championship fight. That is for sure. Supporting the chat for Soapbox as well. Obviously showing support for the championship leader. Fan favourite here in F4 is Soapbox.
Yeah, he's got a lot of fans, and for good reason. He's really putting on a good display this season, and hopefully he can continue it for the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Neil's just about keeping it within the limits there on the exit of Spoon Curve. And let's have a look at this middle sector split. We're looking for a 10.8, and he's done a 10.8 right there. So Niels is looking good right now to be up there with the likes of Lorenzino, and Reese is all about the Casio triangle and how he is able to navigate that chicane. As he comes to the line now, Niels, will it be provisional pole? Oh, he misses out by 0.02 of a second.
Yeah, that I reckon that was just that little bit of a slide coming out of the Casio triangle. Just heard the tire screech just a little bit when it came out of it, and that's all that could have been. 0.02 of a second could have been that little bit of a slide. That's all it is.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, he did lose a little bit on the exit of Spoon as well. He ran a little bit wide on the exit, so he's definitely more time there for Niels. As Soapbox an 11 flat, he's around about 2 tenths off the likes of Reese, Niels and Lorenzino right now, which should put him there. Oh, as he cuts too much of the inside curb on the entry into the Casio triangle, and Soapbox not happy with his lap, and he's immediately into the pits. As I believe the next man to cross the line will be is it Lorenzino or is it Boyolulu? It is going to be Lorenzino, so we're going to go on board with Lorenzino. Big slide on the exit of Spoon Curve right there for the man currently in P3, but let's see if he's improving on his middle sector split. As no, he's just over a tenth down in the middle sector, but can he gain anything in the Casio triangle? That is the question, Quinn.
Yeah, definitely, as he clatters the posts on the inside, but he's decided to bail on the lap and come into the pits.
As Boyolulu marching
he's
up.
not happy as well.
Yep, Boyolulu marching up, goes up into P9, finds a bit more time in the Casio triangle, but only gets him up 1 spot. As we got Sam on a lap right now, he's currently in P8, but he's a 10th up. This will propel him up the order quite a bit, as long as he can hold on to this advantage that he has. He may even jump up to P4 here with a good run here.
Yeah, definitely. He is about 2 tenths down on Reese and Niels, so it is potentially looking like a P5 or P6 right now, but a little bit of a moment on the entry of the last corner.
And he lost all his time there.
He lost it all through the Casio triangle, I believe, but he still improved.
As I just jumped on board with Alpha Kevin there, big rear end lockup for Alpha Kevin, and he goes straight on at the Casio triangle. Sem not improving, but we got Ismail marginally up on his time in the middle sector, but he had a big...
it wasn't good.
Yeah, big mistake in the Casio triangle means that he doesn't improve. Mankley though, 10th and a half up in sector 1 as he enters Spoon Curve right now.
Yeah, he's going very good, and just a little bit on Ismail. He went very wide on the entry of Casio triangle, which is well, he lost about 2 tenths going through there, so could definitely have been at least up into P3. But yeah, on man like now took the Casio triangle very well and up to third, about a 10th improvement. So very good lap.
So I just jumped on board with Reese, but they're getting a little bit out of shape at the hairpin. His lap is over and done with. Neil's out there on an out lap again. Lorenzino out on another out lap. Ismail's on his in lap.
Federico Spiga coming up to the line. It's only P16 at 28.0, and we have Soapbox starting another lap, and Dennis is just going over the bridge and through the hairpin.
Joe, should we stay on board with Soapbox? Because at this moment in time, obviously, we've seen it before where Soapbox qualifying has never really been what Soapbox's season's been about. He's had some poor qualifying results, but he's always managed to come back through the race, as he does a 31.4 in the first sector, very competitive there from Soapbox. But surely after the win last week and the very good qualifying he had in Hungary as well, he's going to be looking to carry on that momentum to make sure that not only does he keep the championship lead, but make sure he extends it, because obviously his nearest rival at the moment in Reese is currently on pole position.
Yeah, he's going to have to pull out a lap here if he wants to be competitive in this qualifying session, as I believe that was Dennis who's gone up to P7.
Yep.
So, second, he's actually faster than Reese and Niels through the second sector split, so it's potentially looking like a provisional pole position. Has a little bit of a slide on entry to the Casio Triangle, but keeps to the inside line. It is Soapbox. What time will it be? It's only P3. He lost about 700ths, I believe. He just had a little bit of a slide going into Casio Triangle, and that was enough to, well, take the provisional pole away from him.
Yeah, unfortunately there for Soapbox, that lock up into the Casio Triangle, accompanied with just running over the curb, just unsettling his car mid-chicane. Obviously not helping him out whatsoever, compromising his run out of the Casio Triangle. As I'm on board with the man currently who is on the front row, Niels, as he is running down to the middle sector split right now, heading down towards 130. He is marginally up on his time, and this will put him 2 thousandths behind Reese, as long as he can hold on to this kind of pace right here. But through the Casio Triangle he'll go, and to the line will come Niels. Is it going to be an improvement for him? Yes, it is. He finds a 10th in the final sector, and he goes up on the provisional pole position.
Yeah, that was very good through the Casio Triangle. I was just on board with Dennis. I believe he's on an in lap. But now going over to the Alpha Kevin. He has got a very quick second sector split, faster than anyone. So could potentially see him rocket up the order. He was about 4 attempts up, so it'll be very close to the provisional pole for Kevin. What will it be? His pole position, a 127.198 for Alpha Kevin. Very good. I knew it was going to be a good lap when I saw that second sector split.
Yeah,
he got a 10.6.
It was all going to be about the Casio Triangle, and if he could minimise the lockup and any mistakes in the Casio Triangle, which he did do to a good effect. And the prize right now is provisional pole position, but we still have just under 3 minutes remaining in the session. It is not over yet, and there's still a lot of action to come here in qualifying.
Yeah, there is, and I'm just on board with Boya Lulu, as I believe he's on a fast lap at the moment as he's coming up to the spoon curve. Be interesting to see what gear he decides to take it in. Decides to go down to 5th. Just carries it, gone a little bit wide on the exit, but we see what his second sector split is going to be. It's a 111.0, but he is 1.5 tenths up, so good to see him jump up nearly into the top 10 here, Boya Lulu, through the first part. He took it very well through the Casio Triangle, a little bit of oversteer moment, but it will be 12th for Boya Lulu, and I believe he won't have, yeah, that is his final attempt at qualifying.
Yeah, and Alpha Kevin, I believe, is not going to have enough time to get back out and get onto the track. Niels might potentially, as long as he's on his way out of the pit lane right now, but we have around about a minute and a half remaining before the checker flag falls here in qualifying. I'm currently on board with Sam, coming underneath the bridge right now, heading towards the hairpin at turn number 11. Sam breaking down third gear, the gear of choice there for Sam. He's currently in P10. He's looking to get himself up the order, and last week's pole sitter is directly in front of him, and that is Dennis, and that was an incredible lap last week from Dennis to put himself on pole position. It did not go well for him in the race at all, but Dennis showed last week that he does have the pace to be up there.
Yeah, definitely. And he's just got to show that level of consistency as Sam is
2.5 temps up.
2.5 temps up, and he's going to be trying so desperately to get on provisional pole. There's Collat to the first part of the Cassia Triangle, which could have slowed him down, but up to the line is P3 for Sam.
Yeah, big improvement there from Sam, as we're going to jump on board with... who should we jump on board with? Let's see who's furthest along. So I believe Federico's on an outlap. Graf Roach has just started. Luno is a 10th and a half up in sector 1 alone. Niels is on an outlap right now, but he's not going to get to the line in time. So the top two are not going to be able to set an improved lap here. Reese is marginally up in sector 1, but we'll come back on board with him a little bit later on in his lap. Soapbox, sector 1 split, let's see what he can do. Checker flag has fallen in the session, and it's all going to be about this final lap. Soapbox marginally up in sector 1. And we're going to go back on board with Reese, who's invalidated on the exit of Spoon. That is not good for Reese. So now all eyes on the likes of Soapbox. Mangley, as Lorenzino's actually a little bit wayward there.
Yeah, Lorenzino was the person who spun in front of Reese. So potentially was a little bit of a distraction.
Potentially, as I'm on board with Mangley, as he is heading down towards the middle sector split. And he's not improving on his lap time. Soapbox,
Sam
maybe.
goes P3.
Yeah, big lap there from Sam. Soapbox. Let's see what he's doing in the middle sector. Oh, he's half a tenth down, but this is where he lost the time before. The Casio Triangle. Can he find that time again? Big lockup and just about keeps it within the limits. But look at that big snap at the rear end for Soapbox, and that is his lap over and done with. Ismail to the line. 3 times up for Ismail. What's he going to do as he comes to the line? P2 for Ismail.
Yeah, I knew he had the lap in him, and it's very good to see the likes of Alpha Kevin and Ismail up on the front row.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, Ismail tied on points with Reese coming into tonight's race. So, I mean, as I mentioned, that Reese was the closest challenger to Soapbox at this moment in time. Let's not forget about Ismail. Ismail is tied on points with him. But we are going to run you through the qualifying results here. It is Alpha Kevin who takes a pole position ahead of Ismail, who will join him on the front row. Niels in P3 with Sam in P4. Sam in P5 with Reese in P6, completing the third row of the grid. Soapbox, the championship leader, in P7 with Mangley in P8. Alex Gamer in P9 and Lorenzino rounding out the top 10. Outside the top 10 we have Dennis, Santero, Boyolulu, Joris Likes Food, Solax, Luno, ASRT Kevin, Grav Roach and Federico. Going to be rounding out the back of the field. Well, interesting qualifying dynamic there, Quinn. It was Alpha Kevin that came out on top in qualifying, and the past couple of races there has definitely been a change in Alpha Kevin. I think from the Spanish Grand Prix onwards is where we start to see Kevin kind of grow into the season now, and honestly he's just looking better and better as each race goes on.
Well, yeah, he definitely has. But you have to remember, we're still in the early months of the game, so some people are still maybe trying to get to grips with it. So it's potentially, well, still trying to get used to it. But
yeah, absolutely. And of course, we will be having the lobby restart in just a moment's time. But of course, we're going to do a quick reminder of the championship standings coming into tonight. To the ad break. It is Soapbox that leads the way on 49 points, 32 points for Reese in second, same for Ismail in third, 28 points for Mangley in fourth, Boyolulu on 27 points in fifth, 25 points for Joris Likes Food in 6th place, and it's not gone well for him since his race win in Miami. Then, of course, we got Sergio in P7 on 21 points, 19 points for Federico in 8th, Lorenzino, Santero, and Sem 9th, 10th, 11th, all on 18 points, 17 points there for Alpha Kevin. Then we got ASRT Kevin in 13th place on 11 points, 6 points for Tio in 14th. Then we got 5 points apiece for Alex Gamer and Solax in 15th and 16th place respectively. Dennis in 17th on 4 points, 3 points for Sam in 18th, Grav Roach on 2 points in 19th, and Sam Van Marazin on 1 singular point in 20th place. Yet to get points on the board is Niels, Mendoz, Luno, and Betsky. And of course, we will be having a little look at the constructors standings as well, as it is the Alpines that lead the way on 49 points, 45 points for the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls in second place, 4 points separating those two constructors there, Quinn. Very close indeed. Mercedes MP3 on 28 points, with Aston Martin in 4th on 26 points. 25 points for the Sauber team in 5th place, and 22 points for the Scuderia Ferraris in 6th. McLaren F1 on 18 points in 7th, 11 points for the Red Bull Racing team in 8th place. 9th place it goes to Haas at the moment with 7 points, and of course we got Williams at the back of the pack on 4 singular points. Guys, we will be back after a word from our sponsor, and we will get ready for the start of the Japanese Grand Prix. So until then, guys, we'll catch you in a minute. Thank you to our sponsors. Quinn, very interesting qualifying. Obviously, as we mentioned, Alpha Kevin getting pole position. It seemed the Casio Triangle caused a lot of issues for a lot of drivers out there. And with the amount of lockups we saw there in qualifying, how tricky is this going to be now going into the race when your car is full up with fuel and you've got so many cars around you, and it's so easy to lock up a front right, or even lock up the rear tires under the braking in towards the Casio Triangle?
I think it just really, well, obviously it depends on, well, the drivers themselves, but it also depends on the setups they've got on. It's whether they've tried to optimize the qualifying or the race, or a little bit of both. If they've got set up to optimize the race pace and just the race in general, then it shouldn't really be an issue for them going into the Casio Triangle. But if they have a setup more tailored towards qualifying and a little bit less wings, then it could definitely be an issue.
Yep, potentially. And of course, around a circuit like this, it does help making sure that you spend so much time making sure that you have that setup, because the first sector, you can gain so much time there, but you can also lose so much time there. I mean, I remember obviously a few game cycles ago now, where the first sector was literally the only thing that I could ever do right. Like the rest of the track, you couldn't do it all, but the first sector I had absolutely nailed down, and that gained me so much time. And how important do you think this is going to be for the drivers to make sure that they have that first sector pinpoint accurate?
I think it is important, but with a track like this, you saw in qualifying how important the Casio Triangle is to, well, have putting a lap together. So yeah, I think the S section is a very vital part to the lap. But I think the Casio Triangle is just as important, because you've got the straight going into turn one directly after it. So if you mess up even a little bit through the Casio Triangle, you'll be susceptible to an overtake or two.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have a quick once again here as we head to the Japanese Grand Prix as we are here at Suzuka. Looking at key overtaking opportunities, of course, there's the run down into turn one with DRS. See, I don't see any overtaking opportunities, clear cut overtaking opportunities in sector one. But if you can get a good run out of two, you can go side by side for the SS. It's not recommended, but you can do it. After that, then I think the next real overtaking opportunity is turn 11 at the hairpin, and that is where I think we're going to see quite a lot of action down into the hairpin, where you can take so many different lines through there, which can help promote overtaking, but also can unsettle drivers. If they take too tight of a line, they might light up the rear tires and have a bit of an issue on traction on the exit there. And then of course the Casio triangle being another key overtaking opportunity. Quinn, what corners are you looking at, like with the most intent of seeing where these overtakes are going to come from around you?
I think definitely the hairpin turn 11, you definitely see some people lining up overtakes there and potentially taking some opportunistic overtakes there as well. I think the little straight off coming out of Spoon Curve could definitely be an overtaking opportunity if someone doesn't get the correct line through Spoon Curve, then they'll be vulnerable to an overtake. And I think even down into the Casio Triangle as well. If you get far enough alongside someone, you can potentially get an overtake done there. So, yeah, those are my 3 overtaking spots that I'm personally looking out for.
Do you think that we are going to see any side-by-side action through the S's and through 130R? That's going to be the big question.
I think maybe on the later laps if we've got people fighting for the wins, but I think early on, I think it's just too much of a risk trying to go side by side through the S's, and especially 130R. But when it comes down to crunch time in the last few laps, we could potentially be seeing some side by side action through those parts.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, again, another quick reminder of the and last week's race results as well. Obviously, Soapbox leading the way in the Drivers' Championship, 17-point gap to Reese and Ismail, who are tied on points in second and third place. 4 drivers yet to get a point on the board, as of course Niels, Mendos, Luno and Betsky. Of course, Betsky and Mendos not here tonight, but Niels and Luno have a opportunity of getting points on the board and trying to propel themselves up ahead of the likes of Sam Van and obviously Gravroach. Sam, EVE Sam, with a good qualifying result here tonight, potentially could be looking on for some very good points in this race.
Yeah, definitely showed ways out-qualified his EVE teammate and Reese and title contender, so could potentially be looking at a podium here or even a race win.
Potentially. Remember, he was only just over a tenth off of pole position, so he was in the mix. And just a quick reminder, obviously the top 6 from Alpha Kevin down to Reese separated by a tenth and a half, so very close between those 6 drivers. Soapbox just over 2 tenths off of the pole position time. He was only 7 thousandths of a second ahead of Mankley, who was in P8. The top 10 separated by less than 3 tenths of a second. We are going to be in for an absolute treat of a race here, Quinn, as it looks like the drivers are getting ready to go back into the lobby. And the big question is, will we have changeable conditions? That is going to be the big question. And those questions will be answered in due time. Are we hoping for rain here, Quinn?
Personally, I'd like it to be a dry race because I don't really want chaos around here, but I think it could be likely. As we've seen in the past, there's very changeable conditions here.
Honestly,
there's always potential.
I'm hoping for a nice little mix. I'm hoping for maybe a dry to Indus or an Indus to dry. Just to have a little bit of a strategy variation. But I don't want to like being at the midpoint and that with the crossover race. I want it to be a little bit later on, where obviously you have to make that strategy call as we are going into the race in. Will be making sure that they have this setups and everything selected. That is for sure. Quinn, before we get the 5 red lights, podium predictions.
I think Ismail is going to win. Alpha Kevin second and Reese third.
Interesting. I'm going to go for Ismail for the win, Niels to get a P2, and honestly, I'm thinking Soapbox for the podium. He will lose a little bit of ground to Ismail, but I think Soapbox, obviously the way he's been driving this season, so calm, keeps himself out of trouble, keeps his head cool. He's always managed to find his way up in that podium position towards the end of the race, and I can't put him past getting on the podium again.
I just think that now that he's had the race where he's done the alternate strategy and it's worked out for him, that I think other people have seen that and they're potentially going to go for the alternate strategy as well.
Maybe, but we'll have to wait and see. Of course, I was hungry last week where he went for the alternative strategy. Of course, this a very different circuit to the Hungaroring. Suzuka providing very different challenges, and we are going to see who's going to come out on top here at Suzuka, as it is Alpha Kevin who will be leading us away from pole position as we go to those 5 red lights right now to get us underway here for round number 6. The 5 red lights are out and we are underway. Alpha Kevin getting a very good launch off the line, and it looks like a very good start there from Niels, almost getting alongside Ismail in the first phase, but unable to get alongside enough to make a move. Mankley does get ahead of Soapbox, so Soapbox again, as we seen in the past, starting slow. And immediately I asked if we're going to see side by side action in this race. Sam and Sem side by side in the S's, and it's Sam that comes out on top.
Yeah, it's been very close in these first couple of corners, and I was just looking further down the field and it looks like Solax may have had a little bit of a spin or an accident. Doesn't look like he's got any damage.
Alpha Kevin, sorry to cut in there. Alpha Kevin, big mistake coming through the second deck now. He absolutely just outbroke himself, ran a bit deep, and that's just allowed Ismail to just take that race lead and say thank you very much, mate. I'll be having some of that.
Yeah, and it looks like Manlike has actually gotten past Reese. So Reese has lost another position and now he's got Soapbox to deal with right behind him. Just looking at the tyre choices for everyone at the moment, it's the mediums for everyone except for Federico Spiga.
Oh, and that's a big lunge on the inside from Niels on Alpha Kevin. Adds a little luck into the Casio triangle and settles Kevin, so he does not get close enough to potentially go for a move on Ismail here. But Niels looking very racy here at the start of this race as we're on lap 2. DRS has been enabled. Of course, it won't be in effect until the beginning of lap 3, but a bit of a mistake there from Kevin. Snatches the inside curve through turn 2, unsettles him somewhat, and he is losing time right now to Ismail.
Yeah, Ismail has just got to take advantage, and that is Dennis who's gone round in the S's. Looks like Joris may have had some damage as he has decided to pit and he is on the hard tyres. So he will potentially have to make another stop, I believe, in this race.
Yeah, potentially, unless there is some changeable conditions that can bring him back in. Meanwhile, we got Reese and Soapbox there battling out for P7. We had Axe Gamer and Lorenzino battling out for P9 in this race, as well as they funnel down in towards Spoon Curve. Everyone staying as they are for now. Oh, big snap there for Alex Gamer, and that's allowed Lorenzino and Santero to get through. Alex Gamer goes from P9 down to P11 in this race, and it could be P12 because here goes Boyolulu.
Yeah, Boyolulu as well, side by side through 130 yard. Oh, now side by side through the Cassia Triangle as well. They're still side by side, but a better exit for Boyolulu.
Oh, that's allowed Luno.
But look at this, Luno. Luno's getting in on the action, and Alex loses another position, and now side by side between Boya and Luno. Anyone backing out? No, they're not. And Luno gets through on Boyolulu.
Double overtake there for Luno. Incredible opportunistic moves from Luno there to get himself up into P11. I believe at the same time as well we saw Mankley and I believe it was Reese that was trading positions. In fact, it might have been Sam and Sem actually. Sam back down to P5, Sem back up into P4. So maybe it was these two that traded positions up towards the front. Soapbox gets through on Reese. Reese losing
had
positions.
A very bad run. Yeah, he had a really bad run through Degner too, but Reese is trying to get moves done, but Santero sticks ahead. So Reese from P7 down into P10, but looking for the inside line going into Spoon Curve, and he gets to move back on Santero, and now he's gonna have to try and get a move done on Lorenzino, because the gap between Lorenzino and Soapbox is getting very, very close to being outside the DRS range. And just looking at Niels, he's practically pushing Alpha Kevin through the Casio triangle there. So that is Federico Spiga and Gav Roach fighting, and that is well no, that was actually, I believe it was Gav Roach who was actually pushed off circuit, but he still managed to keep it. Yeah, going back up.
Yeah, and with that battle between Federico and Gravroach, they've both dropped outside the 1 second window now. So unless Gravroach can get himself back within a second, it's going to be a very long day for not only himself, but also for Federico and Solax as well. Not to mention the likes of Dennis and Joris likes food down at the back of the field. It seems like Niels potentially having a look down the inside into the hairpin on Alpha Kevin. Bit of a lock up and a little bit argy-bargy with each other as they are ghosting through each other at this moment in time, as they both run down towards Spoon Curve. And honestly, as someone that did used to run without the racing line, there's nothing more off-putting than a car ghosting through you when you're looking at your braking point for any particular corner.
Yeah, it's definitely off-putting, but Alpha Kevin does come out just ahead of Niels, and Niels lobs for the inside line through 130R, momentarily ahead, but that is Niels losing positions. Yep. Now he's behind Sam and Sam.
And we just
yellows, and I believe that is Gavroach.
Yep, Gravroach around at 130R.
Yeah, it's got a damaged front wing as well.
Yep, into the pits he'll go. 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well. He's retired from the race. He's had enough already. Lap 5 of 27. Ismail leads the way. Alpha Kevin in second place. Sem in third with EVE Sam in fourth. Niels here in P5. Mankley in P6. Soapbox, the championship leader, in P7. Lorenzino in P8. Reese in P9. And Santero completing the top 10. Alpha Kevin's dropping down the order. Alpha Kevin's dropping down the order. What's going on there for Alpha Kevin? He's in the gravel. He's made a horrendous mistake somewhere, and he has gone off into the gravel, and outside the top 10 now goes Alpha Kevin.
He's got front wing damage as well.
Do you think he potentially took too much inside curb through the Deckners?
Potentially. We saw him outbrake himself a few times going into Degner too, so potentially that could have been why.
Mankley all over the back, and Neil here for P4 in this race. Potentially could have a look down the inside of the Casio Triangle. No, he's going to think better of it. bit of a snap at the rear end for Niels here, as Mankley looks to get the better run out of the Casio triangle. Doesn't necessarily have the better run, but with DRS it's going to be very difficult for Niels to really to get rid of Mankley. And Soapbox here just flies through, thank you very much, and so does Lorenzino down the inside through turns 1 and 2. Lorenzino versus Mankley as they come through turn 2, and it looks like Lorenzino's got that position done, and Mankley got caught napping by not only Lorenzino but also by Soapbox.
Yeah, now you just gotta. Well, Reese hasn't really been making the moves. There's been other people around him, and yeah, the opportunity went and passed for him to get a move done on Manlike. Everyone gets through Degna 2, all right. We're looking
Ooh,
a bit further up.
Sorry, Sem locking up into the hairpin, hits the back of Ismail. Potential. I didn't see no front wing fly off of Sem's car, but he could potentially have a bit of damage on the front of that car now.
Yeah, it could definitely be slight damage, but it shouldn't really be enough to cause any issues. But looking at, well, the closest battle on track, I'd say right now is between Reese and Manlike. Well, the 3-car train between Lorenzino, Manlike and Reese is getting very close, very tasty. But everyone from Ismail down to Federico Spiga are all in a DRS train. So
And Ismail
unless you're
has...
Sam going down into turn 1, you're not really going to be getting any overtakes done apart from any mistakes.
Yep, Sem getting through with the help of DRS there. And obviously coming through the SS, I mean, obviously you mentioned about mistakes. So easy to make a mistake in the SS. So easy to just take a little bit too much of the curb as you're trying to navigate your way through the S curves. And honestly, it's just... This is just one of those tracks. I like to think of it as a driver's circuit, this one. Where you got to be on high alert at all times. Like, there is really no room for you to like just get, you know, just take a little breather. Like, there's no room for it at all around a circuit like this, because that first sector you gotta be absolutely on it. That second sector you gotta be absolutely on it with your braking, because it's all about timing the braking, throwing the car in at the right point, as Joris has retired from the race through Dunlop Curve, and that has brought a safety car here, lap number 7 of 27.
Yeah, it's very easy to lose your car through there if you just get on the power a little bit too early, or just oversteer it. If you just steer too much, you can very easily get a rear end stepping out, and of course that's what can happen. So you could potentially see a lot of people coming in for hards, and it looks like everyone is pretty much coming in, but it's disaster for Federico Spiga, because he's going to be staying out. Alpha Kevin can serve, I believe he can serve his 10-second penalty under safety car, so potentially that can erase his penalty, but he's going to be right at the back of the field. And as it stands, Federico Spiga spins around, braking to try and avoid going past the safety car.
Something that I did just think of then, that would have shaken up the order just a little bit, is obviously the double stack, because look at Sam now all the way down in 11th place.
Yeah, it's not being kind to Sam, but someone it has been kind to is Soapbox. He's up into provisional 4th place with everyone on hards except for, well, Alpha Kevin is back on the hards, and I believe he didn't actually, no, he's still got a 10-second penalty to serve. I believe, did he pit?
I don't
Let me
think.
check, I'm gonna check.
No, he's only made the one pit stop.
Yeah, he didn't pit. That's, I don't know. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that from him.
Well, I mean,
Purely
maybe.
because He's got his 10-second time penalty. He could have, well, I'm not 100% sure if he pit in under safety car, he can get rid of a 10-second penalty, but if he can, then I think he should have.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If he could have got rid of it, he 100% should have. Just to give himself a better chance in this race later on, because you never know. With everyone bunched up again, like it could lead to another safety car situation coming out in a few laps' time. Federico goes into the pit, so he has dove in. Lap 9 of 27. We are at the third way stage of this race. Sem out in the lead right now. Ismail in second. Niels in third. Soapbox fourth. Lorenzino in fifth. Mangley in sixth. Reese in seventh. ASRT Kevin in eighth. Boyo Lulu in ninth. And EVE Sam rounding out the top 10 after absolute heartbreak for him, because he was doing so well up there towards the front, and he's at a double stack behind one of the guys in front of him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for him, but he's just got to try and work his way through the field. And like we were saying, there isn't many overtaking spots, but he's got to really try and make the most of every move that he's going to potentially have in front of him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously in terms of like just clear-cut overtaking opportunities, there's very few around this circuit. The main thing around this circuit is applying pressure to force another driver into a mistake, whether that be into the break-in for the second deck now, whether that be into the break-in to the hairpin, spoon, the Casio triangle, or in the S's itself. Once the pressure is put on you from behind, it can cause an effect on how you are driving on this circuit.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely can. And I believe the safety car should be coming in this lap.
Yeah,
it should be.
Yeah, I believe it will be. Everyone has caught up to the back of the park now. Safety car we should be seeing peeling off into the pit lane. So it'll be Sem that will control the pace in a moment's time. And there we go. There's a notification right there from race control. Safety car in this lap. Sem controls the pace. Ismail has got to be on it like the proverbial car bonnet here on this restart to make sure that Sem does not get clear of him.
Yeah, and he's keeping quite a pace up behind the safety car. He's not waiting around at all for the safety car to go into the pits. And it looks like he's going now just on the exit. A little bit of a rear end twitch, but he's caught Ismail napping just a little bit. And Sam has already...
Oh, Boyo Lulu.
Well, Boyo Lulu.
Boyo Lulu there did not get enough heat into his tyres, so he's lit up the rears and has tumbled all the way down to the back of the field. I was on board with Ismail for that restart, and he also had a snap at the rear, which is why Sam wasn't really punished by his snap up ahead. But Ismail, fortunate to not be under immediate pressure from Niels there, but we come up through the Dunlop curve now on lap 10 of 27. Sam leading the way, Ismail second, Niels in third.
Yeah, and just looking at Soapbox and Lorenzino, there's some quite sizable gaps to the car ahead, and potentially it wasn't good restarts from those two, but Man Like is really applying the pressure on the back of Lorenzino, as we just saw Federico Spiga getting past Kevin. And yeah, I think something's wrong with Kevin, because he is just losing a load of time. Potentially he's got some other damage that we aren't aware of, and he's looking very twitchy. And now it's Federico Spiga making up the places, of course, on the medium tyre with everyone else on the hards. He's going to have a pace advantage naturally with the different compounds. But looking towards the front, the 3-car battle for the lead. DRS is enabled, of course. It wasn't enabled for this straight, but it will be on the next lap, and that's Spiga with the fastest lap.
Sorry to cut in there. Ismail closing right up underneath the rear wing of Sem, going in towards the braking for turn 2. touches a little bit the inside curve. That's going to unsettle Ismail just a little bit and allow Niels to get onto the back rim, but Niels unable to take advantage of that. That's going to allow Soapbox to close up a little bit as well through the S's as they come up through Dunlop curve in towards the Degner curve, and it just looks like Niels not incredibly confident at the moment through the Degner curve. You saw Ismail, they just pull away, showing a little bit more confidence on that inside curve, and Ismail seems to have Niels covered for this time being. But as you mentioned, the gaps are staying relatively close. Obviously, Kevin, as you mentioned, big snap for him, and he almost loses the car. Sam does get through, but what that has done now is split the field.
Yeah, definitely has. And
Mangley all over the back of Lorenzino, coming through 130 yard, touches the rear, but does not go for the move. And Mangley right now is showing more pace than Lorenzino, but he's not willing to go for the overtake at this time in the race.
yeah, and just looking at the gaps
Here goes
in the
Ismail.
field at the moment.
Sorry, around the outside, potentially could cut back underneath. No, Ismail's going to stick in behind. Sorry to cut in there again, Quinn. As you were saying.
Yeah, looking at the gaps, there's quite a sizable gap from the back of Sam to Reese. About 2 seconds, so not quite sure what's happened to Sam here. He is gaining a little bit of time through the S section. But yeah, it's sort of holding up the likes of Alex, Kevin and Federico. And of course, Federico's going to be wanting to try and make his way through the field as fast as he can on these mediums before the crossover period happens, where the hards are just a better tyre. So he's got to take advantage of this tyre offset that he's got at the moment.
As we got Spinners, Alpha Kevin and Boyle Lulu around at the back at the hairpin on the exit, and I believe that's Dennis also involved there. So those three they're not going great as Federico gets through on Kevin through Spoon, and that's a second
Alpha
safety
Kevin.
car.
Yeah, Alpha Kevin, and this is a lifeline really for Federico Spiga, because he would have had to make another stop anyways, being on the mediums, but now he can go back to hards, and well, if he's got another new set of mediums, that could potentially be what he could do, but it seems like most people are opting to stay out. Even Federico Spiga's opting to stay out, so he's potentially going to the end on those mediums.
Yeah, I think wise call there for Federico. Of course, for a few of the laps that he has put on those mediums were under safety car, and he's back under safety car again. It's just going to extend the life of those mediums and keep them fresher for longer. And of course, he is in a decent spot at the moment, currently in P10. He's in the points paying positions, and he will still have the grip advantage over these guys on the hards when we get underway again. And I think probably we're going to be looking at around lap 23 where those mediums will fall away, which honestly, I mean, depending on how quickly Federico can get through this traffic ahead of him, it could be good, but it could be bad for him. It all depends on how he proceeds through this grid now.
Yeah, and he's also just got to be careful on the mediums, not to overuse them and wear them out quicker. So that's another factor that he has to put on his mind as well, is he's got to keep them in the working window and not over push them.
Yeah, absolutely. He does need to make sure that he does not overcook those tyres and does not get too aggressive and too impatient behind some of these guys up ahead. Because I mean, we've mentioned it before, it's a difficult track to get overtakes done down, and it can be very frustrating if you are stuck behind the car and you just can't get the run that you need, and you end up going for desperate moves which turn into collision. So Federico needs to keep his head. He should know that he has the advantage on these tyres at this moment in time in the race, and it's going to be all about timing for Federico here.
Yeah, definitely is. For Federico, he's got to pick his opportunities, and he's just got to pick his battles, because even if you've got a loser position to gain one a little bit later on, then you're better off doing that than potentially just sticking behind someone and it just not working out, and you're just stuck. So if there's someone behind him that is ultimately faster, you're better off letting them through and then trying to follow them through as they've moved away through the field.
Yeah, it'll all depend on the mindsets of these drivers in front of Federico, or whether or not they will make it easy for him or make it difficult, knowing that they'll have the better of the compound late into this race. Lap 14 of 27 here, round 6 of the PSGL F4 Championship on the PlayStation tier. It is Sem currently leading the way, Ismail in second place, and Niels in third, completing the podium as it currently stands. Soapbox, the championship leader, in fourth place, losing a little bit of ground to Ismail in the championship fight, but I don't think he'll mind too much with the small point swing that will be for Ismail versus Soapbox here.
Yeah, it's going to be a very close fight at the front of the field, and I just think that it's going to come down to who can keep their tyres in the working window for the restart. Because going into turn 1, if Sem can get a restart like he had last time, then he will definitely be starting, and he'll definitely keep the lead, and it'll be interesting for me at least to see how he takes this restart. If he does it similar to last time, it looks like he's not really slowing down and dictating the pace, and it looks to me like he's going to go at about roughly the same time, which is now, and yeah, he does.
We get a
Another
bit of a slide.
snap,
Oh,
a massive
Ismail!
snap.
Huge snap there for Ismail. That's going to put under pressure from Niels immediately on the run down in towards turn number 1. Here comes Niels on the safety car restart. Not close enough to go for the move. Tucks back into the slipstream as we approach the break-in for turn number 2. But that could have been catastrophic there for not only Sem, but also for Ismail as well. Both of them catching snaps here. Niels almost taking full advantage of Ismail's snap, and everything on the safety car restart just seems to be getting a little bit wayward for the front two.
Yeah, it could have been disaster for the front two, and could have been an amazing opportunity for Niels. Well, it was an amazing opportunity, but he just couldn't, take advantage of it.
Yeah, absolutely, as races over the back of Mankley here into the hairpin. Mankley trying to look for the overtake on Lorenzino here, and he potentially might get alongside of him on the run down in towards Spoon. And we're going to go on board with Mankley, who does back out, so he's not risking going side by side through Spoon. Of course, he would have the outside line for it, so I can understand why he backed out. But Mankley there putting the pressure on Lorenzino as Reese is putting the pressure on Mankley.
Yeah, it's very close to the front. Niels is getting very close to the back of Ismail, practically pushing him through the Casio triangle, and it looks like Kevin is getting very close to the back of Alex as well. Well, he was until never mind, he is ghosting, and Kevin gets past Alex Gamer, but Alex Gamer looks, and he's just getting swarmed here. Solak's looking for the outside line, side by side. It looks like Alex just gets a move done, but that is Kevin. He did look to try and get back past Solax, but he wasn't able to. So a double overtake there on Kevin sees him drop from 10th down to 12th.
Yeah, not ideal for Kevin. Of course, Federico up into the 9th now. Was all over the back of Sam running down in towards turn number 1. Did not go for the overtake though, so sits in behind the man in P8 for the time being. As we got Mankley again getting very close to the back of Lorenzino here for P5 in this race. And Mankley definitely showing the pace right now. He's showing he can get past Lorenzino. He's showing he has better pace than Lorenzino right now. And honestly, for me, I think it's a matter of time.
Yeah, it should be a matter of time, but especially he's just gotta be patient and wait for the right opportunity. Like, he's right on the back, so he's not gonna look for the overtake here. He's gonna look for the better line and get a better exit. But yeah, 3 attempts, he's just not really close enough unless he can get alongside and really push. And it looks like he's going really defensive. It is Lorenzino, but he's just not able to get a move done as that is Solax getting past Alex Gamer, and that is P10 for Solax.
P10 for Solax as he gets through on Alex Gamer for the final point pin position, and the top 6, the top 7 actually, all bunching up as Reese bunches up to Mangley, Mangley bunches up to Lorenzino, and Lorenzino was bunching up to Soapbox as well. Obviously we got a bit of a gap from Federico now to Solax, so a split in the field has occurred once again as Mangley looks for the better exit out the hairpin, unable to get it though, as he is unable to draw alongside the man in P5 to try and take this position off him. But Mangley is looking like he has so much pace compared to Lorenzino, but he just can't get through at this moment in time.
Yeah, Lorenzino is doing a really good job just defending, and it's proving a real nightmare for man like to try and get past.
Yeah, absolutely, as he is all over the back of Lorenzino here. Meanwhile, we're going to transition up to the top because Neil is now all over the back of Ismail for the race lead, and this could be a change in the guard at front, and it's going to be Niels with the help of DRS just going to breeze past Ismail. Ismail will be able to hold on to P2 though, as Sem just a little bit too far back. Mangley holding on to P6 ahead of Reese here, but Reese gets a fantastic run out of turn 2, taps the back of Mangley, so unable to get the move done there, as Mangley also tapped the back of Lorenzino. So those two really, they're essentially trying to push Lorenzino on here, but they just can't find the way through on Lorenzino at this moment in time.
Yeah, Lorenzino is proven to be a bit of a roadblock and is good for his race, but people behind him who have shown maybe a little bit more pace is not looking so good, and it's not looking good for Sam at the moment. Dropping down to 4th and Soapbox up into the podium positions is not looking good for Sam at this moment in time.
Yeah, absolutely not. Soapbox getting through up into the podium positions again. And this is, I believe this coming order is almost what I predicted at the start of the race. Actually, hang on. I believe if Ismail overtakes Niels here with DRS, then it is exactly what I predicted at the start of this race. But Sam also gets through on Soapbox, so there we go. Prediction out the window. Oh, Lorenzino down the inside of Soapbox as well. Soapbox losing 2 positions for the price of 1 down in towards turn 1. Heartbreak there for Soapbox.
Yeah, and I believe that was Alex Gamer who retired in the pit lane. I mean, he was having a good little race between himself and Solax, so not sure why he's retired.
Alex Gamer in the pits, retiring from the race. Lap 19 of 27. Ismail leads the way. Niels in second place. And oh, big lock up there from Soapbox, losing the back end, and that's allowed Mangley down the inside at the hairpin, and he'll have the inside for Spoon as they are side by side as they run down towards the big and for Spoon curve. And Soapbox has to back up, but that might allow Reese to go side by side. Down the inside goes Reese on Soapbox. Job done there for Reese as he moves up in the P6. Soapbox moments ago on the podium positions has fallen all the way down to P7.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a disaster lap for Soapbox, and now he's just wanting, well, if I was him, I'd just want to get myself back settled into a rhythm, into a groove.
Oh,
As I said,
Sam.
with a 3-second time penalty. So now it's looking good for Lorenzino to get.
Oh, Federico's out.
And that
And that's
is
a safety.
Federico.
Oh, virtual safety car right there.
Virtual safety car. Be
Federico.
interesting that it's not a full safety car.
Federico losing the car, and I think he's lost it on the exit of the Casio Triangle as Dennis into the pits retires from the race. I'm not sure why, because of the safety car. You could have come back into it. I mean, okay,
Yeah,
it's a virtual
definitely.
safety car, but yeah, but you know, you never know what can happen.
Yeah.
Virtual safety car lap 20 of 27. Ismail leads the way. Niels in second place. Sem currently in third, but with that 3-second time penalty, he will fall well down the order. Lorenzino in P4 and Mantley in P5. Reese in P6. The championship leader Soapbox in P7 after a horrendous lap where he was overtaken by not only Sem but Lorenzino, Mantley and Reese all in quick succession. Then we got Sam currently in P8 doing a decent recovery job at the moment. Is Sam getting himself into the points again after his early woes. Solax in P9 and of course Santero completing the top 10, the final points paying position. Kevin, ASRT Kevin, obviously he has struggled a little bit earlier on. He's coming in 11th, so a good opportunity to potentially get himself up the order as a safety car, virtual safety car has been called off, and that's allowed Sam to really have a look at Soapbox down the inside into the Casio Triangle. Contact made between the pair of them as they come through the chicane, and it is going to be Soapbox that holds on to that for the time being, but they're both outside the DRS range now.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's been quite a difficult race for Soapbox, and Sam is just looking further back for the final points positions. That is Kevin, Solax and Santero all fighting over P9, 10 and 11, and of course Santero is stable in P9, but Kevin and Solax were all fighting all the way through the S section.
As Reese with a 3-second.
Now Reese with 3-second time penalties, so now Sam and Reese will be dropping down the order and potentially out of the points positions.
I'm not sure if what's called Reese and Sem will be dropping out of the points paying positions. Of course, you look at the gap between Santero and Kevin. There's 9 tenths between those two, and Santero's 1.9 off the back of Sam. So I think both of them. Oh, that is Ismail. Ismail out of this race. Safety car deployed. Lap 21 out of 27. Lorenzino's out as well. Reeves with a 10-second time penalty for a severe collision with Mantley. It was all kicked off here. Lap 21 of 27. Safety car has been deployed. Everyone into the pits right now. It is time for the soft compound tyres.
Yeah, everyone is going to be coming in. As soon as Niels came in, everyone you'd like to think will follow. And yeah, everyone is coming in for soft tyres.
Now this is where it's going to get interesting. Everyone.
Oh, Niels is getting held up. Oh no, he
Wait.
wasn't. That's just a visual glitch.
Mantley having a change on his front wing, so.
Soapbox up into third.
Ooh, interesting split in the strategy there. Santero, Mangley and Kevin opting for the mediums as well as Boyo Lulu. 4 drivers opting for the medium compound tyres. Everyone else on a set of softs.
I think the softs will be fine to get to the end once the safety car gets going. Well, once the safety car comes in, there should only be about 4 or 5, well no, about 3 or 4 laps worth of racing, so the softs are just an easy choice.
I mean, the safety car should be in at the end of lap 23. Because of course
So that'll be 4 or 5, well,
it'll be
at
4
the
laps
end of
remaining.
lap 23. Yeah, 4 laps. So the softs, in my mind, the softs will do that easily.
Ladies and gentlemen, Niels in the race lead. Yet to get a point so far this season, and he could pick up his first points of the season with a race win. What a story this could be for Niels here. Obviously, we had it in the comments earlier. Niels about to win the championship. Well, he needs to do this a lot more often, and he needs Soapbox further down the order. But Soapbox right now is currently in a P3, potentially, well, actually, a net P2 with Sem's 3-second time penalty. So he's going to gain points on Soapbox, but not a huge amount. Meanwhile, with Reese all the way down in P10, with those time penalties to be applied to him, and Ismail out of this race, Soapbox, big gainer here in Suzuka.
Yeah, he is. He can really extend his championship lead even further, and it's going to be coming in next lap at the end of lap 23. But 11 runners left, and Niels is looking good for the race win because, of course, he's got Sem between himself and Soapbox, and Sem has a time penalty. So if you're Soapbox, you're wanting to get past Sem as quick as possible.
The thing is, though, if you are Sem, you want to get past Neil so you can try and build a gap, because realistically you want to minimise that 3 second as much as possible. Granted, with the likes of Santero, Mangley, Kevin and Boyolulu on the set in the mediums, the Sauce should have the grip to pull away, so we should be seeing the top 4 pull away from 5th down to 8th, and we should be seeing the likes of Lunlo, Reese and Solax doing their best to try and carve through the medium runners. This is going to be such an exciting end to this race. Right now, I don't know who to call for the race win, because right now Neil's in a great spot. Sem is going to be absolutely chomping at the bit to get past Niels in this race, and obviously Soapbox will be looking to take advantage of any opportunity that is there. Right now he is gaining big on his nearest championship rivals.
Yeah, that's the thing for Soapbox. He can just take a P2 and he will be extending his championship lead by a huge margin, so he doesn't need the race win. But obviously you're racing, so you're gonna be wanting, the mentality of a racing driver is you want to win every race that you participate in, so in his mind the win is his for the taking.
Absolutely is 100% his for the taking. We're going to see though if he is going to be able to get it done in the end. Safety car should be in at the end of this lap, and we'll have 4 laps of racing to go here in Suzuka in F4 on the PlayStation tiers. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for a 4-lap dash to the line. Predictions in chat right now. Who is going to come out with the race victory? Will it be Niels? Will it be Sem? Will it be Soapbox? Will it be Sam? Sam with a big show in here today. He's currently up in P4, recovering very well and within a chance of a podium here, as Niels is going to get us back in the way again. Sam going to be looking to try and go with him, but gets caught a little bit napping on the inside curve on the exit of the Casio Triangle, and we are racing back again. Green flag racing. 4 laps to go. Lap 24 or 27. Niels leads the way. Sam in second. Soapbox in third. Sam in fourth.
Yeah, Manlike is already looking very eagerly at the back of Santeros. That is Reese getting past Luno.
Reese getting through on Luno, and remember Reese does have quite a few penalties applied to him, so he's going to finish outside the points regardless, because I don't think he's going to gain 13 seconds enough to hold on to a points paying position. But you never know, maybe the 10-second time penalty, if put into the stewards, may have been an unfair 10-second time penalty. We don't know. We did not quite see what went on with that, but right now Niels has got a fantastic restart here, 6 tenths ahead of Sem. DRS will be enabled for the final 2 laps of this race.
Reese made contact with the back of Boyolulu, and Reese is off the circuit at Spoon Curve, going for an opportunistic move, and that is Reese condemned to out of the points now.
Yep, Reese out of this altogether. Now 4 seconds off the back of Luno with the time penalties. Impossible for him to make that up now. And ladies and gentlemen, lap 25, 3 laps to go. Race with another 3-second time penalty. I think he'll come into the pits and retire now. So as long as everyone sees the checker flag, they are guaranteed a point in this race. And DRS is enabled for the final 2 laps. And it's all going to be about who's going to have the best positioning on that final lap. Sem could potentially cause Niels a few issues on the final lap of this race, and Soapbox could take advantage of it. But Niels right now just needs to keep it calm, needs to drive his race. That's all he needs to do. Keep a nice cool head on him, and he could be looking at a first race win of the season.
Yeah, it could definitely go that way, but just looking at the gap that is forcing out just the exit from the hairpin for Niels. And yeah, he's got a huge gap between himself and Sam. And yeah, Sam, this isn't really a strong part of the circuit for Sam. He is 7.5 tenths down, but Soapbox is really pushing on. And yeah, Sam does have a straight line speed, so he will be catching Niels.
Oh, Niels! Big lockup!
Big lockup. But the gap hasn't really changed a whole lot.
Yeah, but that big lockup,
very lucky.
That big lockup will just allow Sem to get right onto the back of him into the braking for turn 2. And as I mentioned, for the final lap of this race, it's going to be very difficult for Niels to hold off Sem. Soapbox is just going to be there sitting and waiting for the opportunity. Sam is also in the mix as well. Oh, touches the inside curb, manages to hold the car well, does Sam, currently in P4. And ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be an exciting last lap to this race. Niels currently leading the way by 2.5 tenths, but here comes Sem closing up to the back of Niels, and we've seen Niels get good traction out of the hairpin, and we're probably going to see it again here. And yeah, there we go, it gains like a tenth on the exit of the hairpin, which is ideal for Niels, but for right now, it's not enough. Yeah, it's not enough. It's not enough for Niels. Obviously, that lockup into the Casio triangle, accompanied by the top end speed of Sem, who may be running a setup that may be more inclined for straight line speed. It's just absolutely playing advantage, and you've got Soapbox not too far behind. Could Soapbox potentially get past Niels here on the final lap with the help of DRS?
Could potentially be the case, as we're just seeing through the Casio triangle. The Niels did get a good exit, but that was matched by Sem. Sem has the overspeed, very late move there from Niels, and Niels just slots in behind. Good they didn't try to retake it, because of course, well, Niels just needs to focus on Soapbox behind him. Of course you want to win on track, but on this last lap he just has to make sure Soapbox stays behind him.
Yeah, absolutely, and Soapbox right now has the ERS advantage as well, so Soapbox will be able to burn his ERS down the back straight.
Could have potentially seen a little dive, but that is Sam, Kevin and Manlike all fighting for position. Manlike was in 4th temporarily, but now it looks like Kevin is right on the back of Sam. And yeah, looking back up to the front 3 is still, the gaps are around 4 tenths of a second.
And here we go. Overtake button has been pressed from Soapbox, and he's in the slipstream, but I don't think he's going to be close enough to go for a move. Potentially though, maybe he is closing in rapidly. Is he going to be close enough to go for it? He's going to try to settle. Oh, Niels with a big snap. Is that going to allow Soapbox to go for it?
Not going to have it.
And ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be Niels with his first points of the season in race winning fashion. Soapbox P2, Sam P3. What a end to the race that was, and it kept us on the edge of our seat all the way to the final braking zone. What a race that was.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable racing from, well, the front three on the last few laps. You gotta feel bad for Ismail and Lorenzino for the way that they went out on the exit of Spoon Curve, as it could have been an all-time battle for the win. But yeah, it's a great win and a great way to score your first points this season for Niels, and potentially he can continue this form for the rest of the season, and could be a dark horse for potential late push for the title.
Potentially, I mean, there was a comment in the chat saying Neil's about to win the championship. Obviously, he has gained 4 points on Soapbox, but Soapbox's lead at the top of the championship is commanding right now. And Kevin, with that late 3-second time penalty, obviously not helping his cause. And obviously, with Sem's 3-second time penalty, he drops down. I believe it was P6 in the end. But yeah, I have the. I have the black screen right now, so I haven't actually seen the results, and there we go. It just flashed off my screen almost immediately. So I will refer to the stream just so I can get the the results in just a moment. I'm gonna have to be Johnny on the spot with the pause by here now. Wait, Johnny on the spot. But we will go ahead and transfer back and take in the absolute marvel of what that race was, Quinn. That was such an incredible race all the way to the final lap.
Yeah, definitely was. And for a moment, well, you definitely couldn't even choose in the later stages for who the race winner was going to be, because it was, the lead was seemingly changing every few laps. But once Niels had got the lead from Sam, he didn't really look back. He just went forward and forward until the last lap, where he did get overtaken, but didn't really mean much because Sam had the penalty, and Niels, well-deserved win for him, and he gets him off the mark in spectacular fashion.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, timing this is actually very difficult. I might have to lower the playback speed, which I am going to do right now. Guys, bear with me so I can just get the final classifications here for us in just a moment's time. But one thing that we do know is Niels taking victory. Incredible fashion of him doing so. And a huge result there for Soapbox, seeing Ismail out of this race and Reese out of this race. Big championship gain for him. So real running for the order one more time. It was Niels picking up the race win along with the fastest lap as well. So maximum points there for Niels here at Suzuka. Soapbox coming home in P2 with EVE Sam in P3 completing the podium. Manlike in P4 with Santero in P5. Sam with that 3-second time penalty drops all the way down to P6 with Boyolulu in P7. Luno in P8. Solax in P9, and then of course we had ASRT Kevin picking up that final point paying position in P10, and then our list of non-finishers were of course Reese, Lorenzino, Ismail, Dennis, then we had Federico, Alex Gamer, Alpha Kevin, Joris Likes Food, and Grav Roach, all failing to see the checkered flag. Quinn, incredible Japanese Grand Prix, but of course next time we go racing will be at the fantastic Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Another very tricky track for these drivers to navigate.
Yes, a very difficult, very difficult circuit to navigate, and yeah, it's just qualifying, I believe, is just going to be very important.
Yeah, absolutely. Qualifying is going to be a key around it, and making sure you have the right setup is also going to be of utmost importance next week as we go to the Jeddah circuit for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Guys, that is going to bring an end to the action here tonight in F4. I have been Michael Edwards. He has been Danny Quinn, and we'll catch you next week for round number 7 at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Until then, guys, is goodbye from the pair of us. Goodbye.
Yeah.